Oh, how the tables have turned. Funny, isn't it? The ones who sit in their ivory towers, feeling untouchable, never truly consider the consequences of their actions. They pull the strings, craft chaos like it's an art form, then believe they can simply walk away, unscathed and smug. They think they control everything and everyone. But life, oh, life is a game with a twisted sense of humor, a game where irony reigns supreme. And here's the cruel punchline: they've created a monster. A nightmare they built themselves, brick by brick, mistake by mistake. It always begins the same way, doesn't it? They find someone overlooked, forgotten, cast aside, and they push. They prod. They pressure. Until something snaps, something deep inside breaks, and that fragile thing you call sanity shatters into 1,000 razor-sharp fragments. And in those shards, a monster is born, not in the shadows, but in the searing heat of betrayal, pain, and deception. Monsters don't arise from the darkness, no. They come from the rot that festers beneath all that facade of normalcy these puppet masters cling to so desperately. They keep chipping away, chiseling at your soul, not realizing they're creating something far more dangerous than they could ever hope to control. And when you finally break, when you rise from the ashes, you don't return as the person they once knew. No, you come back twisted, unrecognizable, something far beyond their grasp or their control. You become the monster they now fear. Oh, they didn't fear you before, not when they held the reins, not when they could manipulate you, control you like a pawn on their board. But the thing about monsters is this: they don't remain pawns for long. Eventually the chains snap, the cage shatters, and then, oh, then they come face to face with what they truly created. They think they can just walk away, whisper hollow words of peace, and discard you like yesterday's news. No hard feelings, they say, but the monster remembers. It never forgets. Every cut, every betrayal, every sneer, and every laugh at your expense is etched deep within its core. They believe it's all behind them, that they're safe. But they are so very wrong. Because monsters have long memories, and when they rise, when they roar, it's the puppet masters who tremble. Suddenly they're no longer in control. Suddenly the creation they thought they could dominate turns against them. Claws bared, teeth sharp, ready to tear down everything they built. The truth they never wanted to confront is this: they didn't create a weapon they could control. They built a storm, a wildfire, chaos incarnate, and that chaos is coming for them. It will burn them to the ground, reduce their high towers to ashes. They never thought about the cost, did they? They believed they could toss you into the fire and walk away with clean hands. But nothing comes without a price. Every ounce of pain, every drop of suffering they caused, every twist of the knife they were adding to the weight. And now that weight is crashing down upon them. And the reckoning? It's only just begun. But you see, the reckoning isn't just about revenge, it's about the reckoning of truth. The truth they buried, the truth they twisted, the truth they refused to face because it terrified them. They built their empire on illusions, carefully stacking lies like cards in a house destined to fall. And fall it will. They thought they could outrun it, outsmart it, rewrite it. But truth is relentless. It hunts them down, creeping into every crack, every crevice, until it's all-consuming. You can't silence it, you can't bribe it, and you can't manipulate it. And once the monster they created starts to speak the truth, the whole world listens. They'll scramble, try to cover it up, try to erase the past with shallow apologies and desperate pleas for mercy. But it's too late. The damage is done, and no amount of groveling will undo it. Because the monster they created doesn't want their apologies, it wants justice. And justice? Justice is not kind. It does not care about their excuses, their self-pity, or their regret. It's cold, unforgiving, and it's coming for them like a tidal wave they can't outrun. They'll watch helplessly as everything they've built comes crashing down around them. One lie at a time, one betrayal at a time, one truth at a time. They'll realize too late that their power was always an illusion, that they were never the gods they believed themselves to be. No, they were nothing more than fragile puppeteers playing with fire, thinking they were untouchable. But now the fire is spreading, burning through their carefully crafted lies, their high walls, their masks of control. And the thing about fire, it doesn't stop until everything is reduced to ash. But even in the ashes, the monster remembers. It remembers who set the flames, who lit the spark that ignited the inferno. And it waits because monsters, real monsters, understand that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not strike, but simply watch. Watch as those who thought they were untouchable choke on the smoke of their own destruction. Watch as they crumble under the weight of their own sins, and watch as they are consumed by the very chaos they thought they could tame. And in that moment, when they're standing amidst the ruins, when the echoes of their own downfall are the only sounds they hear, they will finally understand the one truth they never wanted to admit: they weren't the architects of this destruction. They were merely the authors of their own undoing. The monster they feared, it was nothing more than the reflection of their own guilt, their own cowardice, their own darkness. Now, the stage is empty. The puppet strings are cut. The game is over, and all that remains is the silence, the kind that echoes long after the storm has passed. A silence that whispers of the truth they tried so hard to bury. A silence that tells the world exactly who they were: not the creators, not the gods, but the very thing they feared most, a force they could never control. A force that, in the end,